Welcome back to the After Hours Gaming League, week number 6. We've got our fight between Google and Amazon, of course, two of the big names in the tech industry. Sure, you all love them in one way or another. They provide some awesome stuff. We're going to be going into game number 2 here. It is going to be a Zerg versus Terran, as you can see. Starting down the bottom right-hand side for Team Amazon. They're in the lead at the moment and going to try and extend that lead, perhaps. It is our blue Zerg player, Metzelmats. Surprisingly, very close to my surname, that name, actually. It's really funny. His opponent up at the top left-hand side, we're on Achelon Wastes. Of course, this is the Heart of the Swarm version, which does have the destructible rocks at the third base, but enough of that. It is our red Terran for Team Google, Ironfoot. Alright, so this map, as I just sort of intimated before, has the rocks here. Of course, these are destructible rocks, which means that they have around about 500 health, 3 armor, and, you know, blah blah blah. But what the cool thing they do is they provide a really nice wall here, which, you know, a lot of players you see in the Wings of Liberty version of this, a lot of players like to go for this as their third, the majority of the times, partly because there are destructible rocks in the way to sort of reinforce your third base that you would normally take here. But if you can get rid of these and then drop down the rocks here as well, then you can actually have a really nicely fortified position at that third. So you know, it's interesting to see how the players take their respective bases. Of course, a lot of Zerg players, considering they take their third base so quickly, will still often get this one that's just off to the side. Of course, the disadvantage of taking this one is that this position here is extremely vulnerable. Not to mention there are options for drops coming in this side as well, which you know, can affect them at certain parts. Of course, not to say that this part is totally drop free. There are some various ways that Terran players can drop through the back there, but you know, it's a matter of preference, of course. And normally you'll see Zergs take this kind of third, but lots of Terrans and Protoss will take this one instead. So we'll see how the game goes. Of course, it depends how these guys want to roll it out. We do have a 1 gas already up for Ironfoot right now. Interesting to see that go up so quickly. It looks like he will put down a factory. There are a couple of various timings that a lot of Terran players have been using in Heart of the Swarm in TVZ. There's one that is based off around about a 9-minute timing push, and it consists of Hellbats, Marauders, and Marines. Not a massive force. We're talking like maybe 50 supply, that kind of timing there, or you know, somewhere around that. I can't remember exactly. But you push out with your stim on your Marine and Marauder, and the Hellbats at the front to tank, and it is quite difficult to stop. I've seen a lot of really good Zerg players die to that kind of push, so we'll keep an eye on whether Ironfoot is going to go for something like that. Of course, you do need to put a lot of expenditure into stim. You need to get around about 2 to 3 racks down, not to mention the armory that is needed to actually get a couple of Hellbats out. So he is going to go for just a very standard sort of Hellion-based opening at the moment. It looks like with that gas that is actually very similar to the build that I was talking about. But for our Zerg player from Amazon, Metzelmats has just gotten his natural base up. The Queens are already out injecting the larvae as quickly as they can, and a very quick baneling nest there. I'm very surprised to see that come up right now. We'll see if he's going to go for the bust. That may actually be what he is after right now. He will have to try, and if he does go for the bust, he'll have to be very careful of the initial Hellions that come out on the map. Of course, they are a great way to try and keep an eye on what your opponent is up to. Just a little poke here and there, and you might be able to see what the Zerg player is up to. So, you know, we'll keep an eye on all these kinds of things that are going on. The natural of Ironfoot is going to get established very soon. He's got a starport on the way, and well, you know, 12 lings are being built by Metzelmats, so I think he is going to attempt to go for a bust very soon here. However, he will have to, as we said, get past these first initial couple of Hellions, which are now just popping out. There is one more back at home just about to come along from our Terran player Ironfoot. It looks like he did see a few of those lings. That is quite a few lings to spot right now, and with speed done, it looks like he's actually just going to deflect this quite easily, gets rid of the 2 Hellions at the front, and look at all that debris that sprays everywhere. So it looks like Ironfoot has spotted that there are quite a lot of lings out of the map right now. He's got already 1 Widowmine down at the bottom of the ramp. There are a couple more about to pop out as well, and I think he does know that there is you know, there is something fishy going on, so he does move up. Looks like one of the lings just taking one for the team there, with one of the Widowmines losing its missile, and the lings have continued continue to come out. We got another 4 here in total on the map. We've got a big total of 13 lings right now, which is, you know, a little bit of a larger number to see at this kind of timing in the game, but you know, Ironfoot will be quite safe. We've got a couple of Widow Mines down at the bottom of the ramp, of course. We've got a few units that have already popped out, and I think he's going to go for a drop with at least one of the Widow Mines. There we go, 3 of them jumping into that medevac here. If he can make his way across the map, he's actually just going to... Is he really just going to blast straight through the middle? He's activated the Ignite Afterburners here, and I think he's just going to... Yeah, he's just going to wander straight past the tower. Interesting way to head across the map, but he is going to get there eventually. Orbital Command now switching down to the natural expansion there. Does have stim researching as well, so he is going to go for a drop and you know, get some tech going behind this. But Metal Mats is prepared. He's got a couple of lings down here at the main base. The Queens are now getting in range, trying to find out where that medevac is. They do find it, taking some shots. One of the Widow Mines does drop out. 2 of the Widow Mines in total. 1 goes down, not able to burrow in time, and in fact the second one also gets taken out. But down here at the natural, there is not enough defense to stop this Widow Mine before it burrows, and burrow it does, launches a missile at the egg there, an interesting target. It does take out a couple of larvae there, which is, you know, perhaps a nice sort of semi-benefit for Ironfoot, but not the target that he was hoping for. He was hoping for a big cluster of drones like this. Maybe he could take out a whole heap of them, but unfortunately for him, at the moment, not really able to do that. As we can see, Metzelmat's going to put down a Spore Crawler and get his detection going. You can finally see where that is. I'm not sure why he's moving the Spore Crawler, but moves the Spore Crawler over. You can still see where that missile is. Of course, the Queen's now able to go to town because the missile has been fired, and it looks like we will have an attempted counterattack here from Metzelmats, but unfortunately, he is greeted by a cluster of Hellbats, and they easily roast up all of those lings, and in fact, no workers were killed there, I believe. The only worker killed this game has been the initial scouting SCV, so Metzelmats, you know, he's still doing fine. He's up to 59 drones right now. I mean, that, you know, that's certainly a nice count to be on, especially after you've gone for quite a lot of lings at the start. You've gone for, you've had to deflect this this early Widow Mine attack, so he did very well in defending against the Widow Mines, and you know, we'll see how he proceeds from here. It looks like Ironfoot has got his tech just about done. The armory, of course, is already done. Concussive shells is on the way. A medevac or 2 is going to come out, and then I think he's going to push around about the 11-minute mark. This is very similar to that kind of push that you see with +1 weapons in TVP, where you have a couple of medevacs out and you go out with a Marine Marauder force, but this is going to consist of Combat Shield Marines with Stim, Marauders with Concussive Shell and Stim, not to mention the 4 Hellbats that are already out. And, you know, if you can perhaps add in some of these Widow Mines as well, then things will be very interesting indeed, because Metzelmats has only just started to really get his creep spread going out, and, you know, if you can put down a Widow Mine or 2, just sort of in some of these positions here, then you can protect the ramp from, you know, you can protect units from coming down the ramp, and you can blast them apart. If there are lings or if there are roaches, they can be easily stopped from getting down. And there is a very interesting timing here from Metzelmats on his 3rd base. He's just going to head out now and try and get that established. 1 Marine now just running through, trying to scout out what's going on. Unfortunately, he gets a poke in the eye and falls down, and it looks like, well, the creep spread has continued out, so Metzelmats does have a good vision of what's going on, and the Widow Mines do come across. But, you know, with Stim, with the Hellbats here to tank, I think this push is probably not going to take out Metzelmats at all, but it is going to do a sizable amount of damage. So the Widow Mines burrowing, going to provide some protection here at the front. Where are there any more units now coming along from Ironfoot? He does have some more units building, and +1 weapons has just started as well. But this is still, you know, this is going to get a decent amount of damage done. It's going to force a cancel on the 3rd base. The Roaches were attempting to come out, but Mutas are now also about to pop out as well. And with the force cancel, Metzelmat's not going to be happy about that, but he does have Mutas out now. We'll see if this defense is up to par. Of course, he's got, you know, 9 Mutas all out. In fact, he's about to have 12 or so. 13, 14, it's around about 16 Mutas that are going to be out on the map in a second. The Widow Mines taking out some of the health on those Roaches, and it looks like, despite, you know, the heavy presence of the Marines there, they are all taken down, and I think Metzelmats is going to be happy with that. The Marines all gone now. The Marauders and the Hellbats are going to be easily able to be taken down. Of course, the Spine Crawler at the front taking quite a lot of damage. The Marauders Mutas, well, just wandering their way right through the front and not really getting too much damage done. But there is a big drop inside the main, trying to go for that Spire here. I don't think he's going to be able to clean that up. It is going to survive on like 50 health or something like that. 64, not too bad. And, well, Metzelmath deflecting these two attacks very nicely, of course. Impressed by all of that. He's still up at around about 50 workers to his opponent's 40. And Ironfoot is now madly scrambling to get some turrets down because he knows he has, you know, he has to defend against these mutas, otherwise things are going to be in very dire straits. Throwing down a couple of turrets inside the main base, of course. He does have quite a lot of barracks production coming out right now, but the mutas have already streamed inside, swooping through, taking down some of those SCVs. He's got already around about 4 kills in total, or 3 kills in total. The Marines now coming about, activating Stim, and they are going to get taken down because there are just too many mutas here, right now, and with no turrets to defend, we do see that Ironfoot does take a few casualties inside the main base. So nice little bit of pressure done there by Metzelmath. He's able to force back that attack. The big question is, he did see all of that production that was there. Yeah, he has seen most of that. That is a lot of racks off this mini base. We've got 7 in total. We've also got, of course, the Hellbats that can be added in. And, you know, the question is, will he be able to deflect any attacks that come along? Because Ironfoot is continuing to research his upgrades. We've got +1 to weapons already done, +1 to armor is now on the way as well. And Metzelmath is going to have to be very careful now because there is another large force of units now pushing across the map. We've already got some of them that are down here at the Zolnaga Watchtower, have cleared that out. And with the Widow Mines, God, these guys are still here and they're firing missiles left, right, and center. No, Mr. Muta, don't do it. They're coming across. They're going to get a Widow Mine in the face or two. Takes down one of the mutas, and that really downsizes that force, given that they've taken quite a lot of health damage there. And I think that Metzelmath could be in quite a lot of trouble. Ironfoot now stimming up, running past those Widow Mines that have been absolutely brilliant in taking down some of the health and the units of Metzelmath. Building a second Baneling Nest? I'm not sure what that's all about, but Metzelmath is perhaps struggling right now. He's on 2 bases. There is a large Marine Marauder force knocking at his front door. We got Widow Mines at the front taking shots on Overseers there, and Ironfoot is going to start to push in very soon, and he is going to be very deadly with his +1 on these Marines, of course, stimming up, taking down these the mutas that are already on very low health. And as we can see, he is about to push in with an extremely large force of units. We've got all of these Marines, all of those Marauders, Banelings coming in, trying to get some damage done, but unfortunately there is just so much here. And the Overlords, unfortunately these guys do not really do too much in terms of taking, you know, getting some damage done. And the Marines now stimming in, continuing to fire down on all of these Zerg units. And with the medevacs up in the sky, it looks like Ironfoot is going to be able to sweep his opponent apart. And, or sweep his opponent apart, I'm not sure what that means, but it means something. It means that our player from Google is going to make the score 1-1, and there is the GG. So Metzelmath goes down in game number 2. Of course, that gives the score to Google for game number 2, and it means we're at 1-1. We'll go into game number 3 in just a moment. Stick around.